Mad Max Fury Road is a post-apocalyptic movie about Mad Max escaping the Citadel, a city run by the villain Immorten Joe. Immorten Joe reigns over the people, controlling the water and fuel which they call gasoline. At the same time, the character Furiosa, who does the bidding of Immorten Joe, is also trying to escape with several of Joe's breeders, women he impregnates to produce breast milk. Mad Max and Furiosa go on to develop an alliance as they have a common mission and a chase ensues by Immorten Joe. A few things I thought were interesting that need more explanation. Why do the War Boys need blood transfusions? Prior to the events that unfold in Fury Road, there were thermonuclear blasts that created the Mad Max world that we see with lack of plant life, lack of clean water, and people suffering the effects of radiation. Radiation poisoning can potentially affect bone marrow, which produces the human body's blood cells. This, a cancer of some type, or some genetic condition from the thermonuclear radiation could possibly explain why the War Boys needed blood. How did Immortan Joe end up using the respiratory apparatus? Immortan Joe suffers from a respiratory disorder, which is evident by the respiratory apparatus he uses throughout the movie. The lungs are the most radiosensitive organs, and with the white powder used on Joe's back to treat what looks like burns, it makes me wonder if Joe was closely near one of the thermonuclear blasts. Will there be some background in future Mad Max movies which shows this? I like to see this in addition to the detail of the thermonuclear event that created this post-apocalyptic world in Mad Max. What's this whole Valhalla thing about? The War Boys idolize Immortan Joe, and their goal is to die in battle to reach Valhalla. When the opportunity presents itself, a war boy will spray chrome on his mouth and say, "Witness me," before they sacrifice themselves in battle, similar to a Japanese kamikaze fighter. Valhalla comes from Norse mythology as the afterlife for warriors that die in battle. Interestingly, according to Norse mythology, Valhalla is located in a celestial realm called Asgard, and Chris Hemsworth stars in the Furiosa prequel to Mad Max. Maybe there will be a Thor Mad Max crossover movie one day. The most interesting lingo in Fury Road. Aquacola, which is the water gathered from under the city that Immortan Joe reigns over. Fukushima Crazy describes the War Boys in that they are willing to sacrifice themselves for Immortan Joe to reach Valhalla, similar to Japan's Japanese kamikaze fighters that risk their lives. Half-Life describes the War Boys again in that they have shortened lifespans, likely due to the thermonuclear radiation sickness. Mad Max Fury Road is a phenomenal dystopian movie, but I have to end with some movie moments that made me scratch my head. How are Immortan Joe's breeders so clean throughout the movie? It looks as though they are the only ones with no radiation poisoning. Why does the mouth of Immortan Joe's mask open up only one time during the movie? Was this for dramatic effect, or is this just happening when he gets angry?